So if you just randomly scroll TikTok, you're gonna come across a ton of content about being a UGC creator. Here's how you're a UGC creator. Here's how I was able to make X amount of month as a UGC creator. But you may have the same question I did at first. Now I get it now. And like it was just because they were calling it something weird that I didn't quite understand what it was. But you may be like, what the hell is a UGC creator? This video, I want to talk about it. What is a UGC creator? What does that look like? How much money can you make? How do you get into it? And all the things. My office is a hot mess because I got a bunch of like PR packages in the mail and I have crap everywhere. So just, you know, if you see the messes, just ignore it, okay? And to be honest, I'm also a little lazy today when it comes to filming. So y'all are on a tripod, like a mini tripod, on top of a box. Because that's the way we're rolling today, okay? So let's just go to the Google box and type in, what is a UGC creator? Because I'm a big fan of Google. I'm a big fan of, you know, researching things. And it says, a UGC creator is a content creator who specifically creates content that looks like UGC, but's been paid for. Now listen, since when is it okay to use the word we're Googling in the friggin' definition of the word? Nope. UGC, definition of Jessica, stands for user-generated content. And at first glance, when I was like looking up what this was, I was like, how is this different from an influencer? Because what I see a lot of people on TikTok saying is, I was able to make, you know, whatever, insert weird amount here, as a UGC per month without having to have any followers or without having to show my face. And I'm like, okay, so is it just a crazier version of being an influencer? Like, I don't understand. So I had to go a little bit further on my research. And then I found another definition that said something like any form of content, images, text, video, whatever, created by consumers online or social networks. So again, how is this not just an influencer? Why is this person or these people a UGC creator and not an influencer? I'm still confused. Okay, and then the Leap.co came through with a comparison of influencers and UGC creators. So they say, when brands work with influencers, they're paying for access to that influencer's community, right? So an influencer recommends a product to their own community. That is what a brand is paying for. UGC creators, on the other hand, don't usually post the content they're paid to create on their own profiles. Intriguing. They may have their own following, sure, and they may even be an influencer, but when a brand pays for UGC, they want the content they can post on their channels. It's authentic feeling content that the brands are after, not the reach of the creator's channel. Got it. So basically, these brands are paying UGC creators to create sponsored content to then deliver to them for them to use on the internet. So, two different scenarios. This is not sponsored, but Nikon did just send me their new vlogging camera, which I have charging right now and I'm trying to use today to vlog with. But they sent me their new vlogging camera, the Nikon Z30. And so let's say, hypothetically, because this is not what happened, that they sent this to me and they were like, we will pay you your rate to put this in a YouTube video. And so I send them my rates and they're like, yes, we will pay you that amount of money to take this camera and put it into one of your YouTube videos. That is a brand partnership. That is an influencer type partnership. I am putting them in my YouTube videos. But the UGC side of that would be like Nikon being like, hey girl, we don't want you to post this content to your platforms. We want you to create a branded spot for our thing. Here's what we want you to say. We want you to be authentic with your review, blah, blah, blah. And then we want you to send that sponsored spot to us, and we're going to use it in our marketing and our advertising and our content. That is the difference between an influencer and a UGC creator. Influencers are sometimes asked to allow the brands to use the content on their own site. But it has to be written into the contract, and most influencers, most content creators are going to charge extra for that. I know I do. If a brand is like, we want you to, have our thing, and then we're gonna pay you to put it in your video, and they pay my rates, but then they come back and they're like, we would like to have that little section of your video where you promoted our thing for us to use on our social medias, I would then charge them more money. So essentially, a UGC creator, and this is where these people on TikTok are coming from, does not have to have their own audience. They don't have to really be anything. They could just create content for brands, which honestly is kind of cool, because you could honestly have no audience yourself. You could just be, a regular person with no audience and be a successful UGC creator and make thousands of dollars a month creating content for brands to use on their own social medias. So this is such a new industry that there aren't really like libraries of places to go and find brands or places to work as a content creator or as a UGC creator. So what I have found is that most of the UGC creators are finding jobs on like regular job searching sites like Upwork or Indeed or Glassdoor, which is really interesting. So like here is an actual job posting on Upwork looking for long-term UGC creators for marketing agency. We're a social media agency looking for UGC creators to make short videos for our clients. These are 15 to 30 videos per month. Per brand, it would consist of creating the video idea, producing the video, editing the video, and using TikTok growth. Best practices such as strong hooks, fast transitions, agitating pain points, blah, blah, blah. Every video should be entertaining or educational. The videos need to be at least 15 seconds long, and we're looking for people who we can work with long-term on any new clients we onboard. So if you're interested, please send some related video examples. And it says like $800. So I don't know if that's $800 per month, $800 per video, whatever. I have no idea what the pricing looks like on these types of things other than like what I can see publicly. But listen, this is really freaking smart on the part of the brand, because prior to UGC creators, the brand would, if they wanted to be present on something like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, as a face or as like a personality, they would have to hire a face or personality that would have that as their job. But now they can go out and find people who are willing to create the content and make it good and engaging and do all the things and deliver it to them, and they just pay them a contractor fee. So it could be more cost beneficial to the brand, but also they could have a whole library of content from a whole ton of different UGC creators. I personally know of a company here locally that I've consulted with in the past who has a harder time getting content like this out into the world, TikToks, Instagrams, whatever, because they're so busy with actually working the business that they're working. And so I could see them hiring out for different UGC creator content, and that way they could like send them their product or whatever, and they could create this content, send it back to them, and then that brand has all of this content to use on their own social medias that they didn't have to hire somebody specifically to do. And I know what your next question is going to be, like, how much money can I make doing this? I don't know. It's kind of like being an influencer or working with brands. The pricing is all over the place. I've seen people say that they made $100 per video, and I've seen people say that they made $5,000 per video as a UGC creator. And when you really like Google it and look it up, the internet is all over the place too. So I'm gonna assume it's very similar to being an influencer and having brands come to you. You get to kind of decide what you wanna charge, but the difference is the metrics are different. How you decide what you'll charge is based on different things. So as an influencer, as a content creator, I am going to charge based on my follower numbers, based on my engagement rate, based on my own audience. But as a UGC creator, you would then want to charge based on your own experience, based on skill set or skill level, and other things that kind of factor into this. So if I am gonna sit here and I'm gonna film UGC content as someone who is very comfortable in front of the camera, as someone who has been on camera for years and years, as someone who has really expensive video equipment and not just my phone, as someone who understands the algorithms and these platforms and understands what works best, I would want to charge more because I have all of that experience than someone who maybe is a little awkward in front of the camera, or their editing skills are lackluster, or they are only using their iPhone. So where influencers can only up the charge when the audience grows, or when, you know, the engagement grows on their own platforms, UGC creators can do things in the background to learn more editing skills, to upgrade their equipment, to get better on camera, to be able to charge more without really having to do the work of growing their audience on the other side. And from what I can understand, as far as getting UGC opportunities, it's still pretty new to the brands just as much as it is to those of us who are in this world. Like, it's still a pretty new thing, and it's still something that brands are figuring out. And I can say that I've been working with brands for years and years now, and brands have been sponsoring influencers for years and years, and the industry still hasn't figured itself out. So it might take a while for brands to kind of figure out this UGC thing. So while you can go and apply for those jobs on like Upwork and whatever else, I think your best bet is finding a niche that you want to stick in. Like, okay, I want to be a tech UGC creator. I want to be a computer UGC creator. I want to be a UGC creator for brands that target moms or babies or whatever, right? Find a niche and then go ahead and make some sample content. So buy your own things, use things you already have. So if I'm gonna make some sample content, I might use this Nikon camera they sent me and be like, oh, I'm gonna review this camera or make content around that, and then use that in my portfolio when I go apply for these jobs or when I like outreach to these brands personally. So I'd find a niche, I would go ahead and start creating content on my own, like reviewing things, creating these short form videos, creating TikToks, whatever, just to have as like a brand portfolio, not really to even put anywhere. And then I would make a list of the ideal brands that I want to work with, and I would reach out to them specifically. I would find the contact person at that company, and I would reach out and I would be like, hey, I know as a brand you're having to put out a crap ton of content, and I know that it can be really hard for you to create all of that content. I'm a UGC creator who specializes in blank niche, and I love creating content for brands in this arena. Attached are some examples that I've done before. Please let me know if you're interested. Keep it short and sweet. Keep it a win-win-win for them. Like, keep it focused on the fact that they're getting the benefit from this. Yes, they're paying you, but you don't need to like be like, I'm worth blah, blah, blah at this point in the reach out to these brands with these portfolio items. If you reach out to 100 brands and 5 say yes, that could be a massive amount of money. And then you could sign on with them long term to make content with them on an ongoing basis. And honestly, I think it's a win-win for both the brand and the creator, because as a creator, you absolutely can still be building your brand on the background if you want to be an influencer or whatever, but you're not having to do the heavy lifting at this point. You're creating the content and you're giving it to the brand. You're not the one actually posting it to social media. You're not the one actually posting it or, optimizing it or whatever. You are just the one who's creating it. And so it doesn't directly affect you or your brand or your following on the platforms. And then for the brand, they're not having to go hire whole people or whole teams to be content creators for the brand. They can just hire this out and have a library of content from people who are doing it so they know what works and what doesn't work. And by the way, this doesn't just have to be short form videos like TikTok or Instagram like I've been kind of mentioning. People could pay you to create YouTube videos for their channel. People could pay you to take photos of their products for their Instagram or for their Facebook or for their website or whatever. So it doesn't have to just be short form video. It can totally be photos and long form videos as well. And obviously you'd want to charge more for like a YouTube video than you would a TikTok. And if you're someone who has photography skills, you could really niche yourself into being like a product photographer as a UGC creator instead of like making a business out of it. You could just go out and find brands who need their product photographed in a way that is appealing and whatever else, and then charge them for that. Okay, so final thoughts here are that it's a really cool industry, and I can see a ton of potential for people to make money from home, for people who want to be influencers to kind of get into the world in a different way. and for brands to be able to have a ton of content that they wouldn't have had otherwise. I also see the potential for different industries. So like I say, if you're a photographer getting into that side of UGC creation, if you're someone who likes to make stop motion animation videos, you could totally do that for different brands. And that's something really different that they may not be getting from other UGC creators, so you could charge more for it. I just feel like there's a ton of opportunity here, and I'm glad that I figured out what it was. And hopefully this video was helpful for you too. If that's something that you've seen, like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't understand what a UGC creator is. Hopefully this answered those questions for you too. Now, this is not going to become a channel where I talk about UGC creation because I've not even done it. But if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments and we might get to them in a future video. And until next time, bye!